Hi guys, it's YSO256 here, back with another What If video. Today we're going back to our timeline of Harry and Hermione falling in love. If you don't remember what happened in the last part, we went through the parts of Harry and Hermione falling in love, getting together, and then Ron's outburst at Harry performing the Cruciatus curse on him. He was then made to do punishments for the rest of his time at Hogwarts under Professor Snape in exchange for not going to Azkaban. He then went to the Slytherin house and was confronted outside of the house portrait hole by Draco Malfoy. And that is where we begin today's part. So, without further ado, let's continue. If you recall, Ron had just walked up to the Slytherin house and the portrait holder said, "Password!" But Ron did not know what the password to Slytherin house was, seeing that, well, it changed every 2 weeks. So he had to try and guess what it was. But before he could try and come up with a sensible answer to the password problem, he was greeted by Draco. Well, said Draco. "What brings you here, Weasley? I thought you'd be hanging out with that Potter and that Mudblood Granger girl." Ron was confused for a second, then snapped back at Draco. "Don't talk to me about those two. I want nothing to do with them." Draco was surprised at this, but was actually quite thrilled to find out that Weasley had finally come to his senses and wanted to be with a group of pure-blooded wizards and witches. "Very well, Weasley. Come on in. It's nice to see that you finally decided to hang out with a pure-blood group of wizards instead of this pathetic, muggle-lugging Potter and his nut-blood girlfriend." Draco then brought Ron into Slytherin house, and the rest of the Slytherins were confused. What was this Weasley boy doing in their house? Draco then explains to his Slytherin friends that Ron has come to his senses and wants to hang out with them, a pure-blooded group of witches and wizards. Everyone is skeptical, including Pansy, and this is where his relationship with Pansy then comes forth, for Ron at least. Pansy then asks him, "Tell me, Weasley, why have you decided to all of a sudden hang out with us?" I didn't want anything to do with Potter anymore, or his nutblood girlfriend." And before Pansy could reply to this, Ron then said, I like you, Pansy. I think you're beautiful." Draco then goes to Weasley. "What on earth are you going on about, Weasley?" And Pansy then replies, "You think I'm beautiful, do you?" She was shocked to hear this from Ronald Weasley, of all people. She had tried to get with Draco for the past 4 years, but he'd never seemed to be interested in her, any more than friendship at least. And Ron and Pansy's relationship then happens. Meanwhile, back in Gryffindor House, Harry, Hermione, and the rest of the Weasley children were enjoying a nice afternoon of just doing homework and that. Harry was a bit bored of this. He really didn't want to be doing it. And it was for his least favourite subject, potions of all things. Hermione then stared at her lover and said, "Harry, I know you don't want to do it, but we gotta get our homework done." Harry then sighed and said, "But I don't want to do it, Hermione. It's so boring. And besides, Snape's just going to give me a low grade anyway. I know it will not bother." Hermione then rolled her eyes at her bow and said, "Harry, you want to pass your OWLs, don't you?" Harry shrugged his shoulders. He didn't really know what he wanted to do at this point. He had the Triwizard of Torment to keep thinking about, and the on-present of potentially Voldemort coming back to life. So he didn't really care much about subjects other than it or homework, but he reluctantly did it, and I even whispered to him so that no one else could hear, "If you get it done quickly, then we can go back upstairs." Harry then liked the sound of that, and he then quickly did his homework so they could have another nice afternoon of lovemaking up in Harry's dorm room. After that, they then went to dinner in the Great Hall for that evening, and in the Great Hall, Harry was then approached by Ron. "Hello, Potter," he said, hanging out with Pansy and the rest of the Slytherins. "Oh, it's you, Ron. What do you want?" said Harry. "Tell me, do you enjoy being with a mudblood girlfriend?" Harry then got angry at this and pointed his wand at Ron. "Go on, I dare you to, Potter. Do it. You think you're tough without Mad-Eye or anyone else to watch your back?" Ron then pointed his own wand at Harry, and the two were about to cast a spell at each other. But then Dumbledore came into the Great Hall and told them to get back to in line for dinner. "You're lucky this time you had Dumbledore to watch your back, Potter. Next time you won't be so lucky," said Ron. Harry then rolled his eyes and was annoyed that Ron had not come to his senses yet. Surely by now he had realised that Harry never meant to get Ron annoyed at him. He just really loved Hermione, and Harry just wished he and Hermione and Ron could just get back to being friends. But clearly Ron had gone too far to the dark side, it seems. And then they go to have dinner. And that is going to be where we leave things for now, guys. So, where do you think this Wolf is going to carry on to? Will we go through the rest of the Harry Potter series? Or will things differ to the original timeline? I'm afraid you're going to have to find out in the next part. Until next time, take care and goodbye.